new. I'm here with
Belle, Kitty,
and Chloe. And we are so happy to be back. We had to take a short break since Camp Week back in July. It's been a while, but we are finally back. We won't bore you with everything that happened, but it's a little eventful here. And now we're back on track with our weekly videos. And the first thing we have actually comes from something we went camping recently. And when we got there, we'd forgotten our fire starters. And we're at home, sitting where we left them. And we needed to come up with a spur of the moment way to make fire starters. So we came up with this idea here, and this one here is our kind of a Tootsie Roll deal, and it has wax because we had our wax with us and we had our wax paper with us, but that's all we had. We didn't have any dryer lint, and we didn't have any paper that we really wanted to get rid of anything like that. So we had some sticks, and these are not the sticks. These sticks are from our yard, but we found some little bitty twigs. So when we talk about firewood, we have the fuel, which is like as big as our arm, and our kindling, which is about as big as our pinky, and then we have our little bitty tinder, and this is tinder that we have. And again, since it is wood, you need to make sure that you don't travel with this. This needs to stay in your own locality, and make sure that you have permission to burn anything. We were at a campground that was okay with us picking up the small sticks and burning those, and we used them there and we left them because you don't want to take firewood places because of bugs and all that kind of stuff. So our fire starter that we can make spur of the moment on what we have on hand, that way we were able to get our campfire going. So you want me to show you what you need to make our fire starter?
Yeah!
Awesome. Now, the first thing we're going to need to make our fire starters is we have wax paper. You could use parchment paper, maybe some of that paper that you get in packages, that sort of thing. Just make sure that it is paper that's not wet, or, you know, those kinds of things. You need to be careful burning too much paper, of course, because it can lift up in campfires. And, of course, you need adult supervision, and you need a caregiver's permission. For all that, do be careful with our wax paper. It always has this little, the tearing edge.
Blade?
The blade, yeah.
Very sharp.
You can cut your fingers on it. I have, so be careful with that. So we need our paper. The next thing we need is our paraffin wax that we actually have done in our little shavings. So be careful when you're doing that, but we just start with our paraffin wax. And that's what we had. But that's not really enough to get a fire starter going. So, as I said, we have our little, I brought some here. Some little bitty kindling, twigs, sticks, just little tiny bits. You want them to be small. When you go to make your fire starter, something really small works better, because you don't want these. This isn't one got a little long. You don't want them super long. So, you may need some scissors to cut your paper apart to make it the right size. And some of these sticks we've got, this would probably be, it's getting close to finger size. This one is probably a little bit thick, but this part over here would be good. So, campers, you ready for me to show you how to make your fire starter?
Yeah!
Awesome. Now, the first thing that you're going to want is a piece of wax paper. And this piece I actually cut in half. You can kind of see the length of our wax paper. I always pull it out, and this may be a little long. It's just how much I ended up pulling. So we will take our little bitty sticks and twigs, and of course caregiver's permission before you do any of this. And you want to break them up into smallish pieces. We'll kind of put those there together. There's another piece. You don't want too many, but you want just a few to go together here. And we'll take our wax. And this is all probably kind of hard to see. White on white on white, huh? So if you can see that, I think you can. Kind of scoot that to the edge, and then we'll try to wrap that and get everything in there. Make sure it doesn't get too long. Kind of keep everything in the middle there. When we're done, you hold with one hand and you twist with the other. And be careful not to rip your paper. Same on this end. And there you go. There is your kindling tinder. I always got the firewood mixed up still. Your small Kendall. Oh my gosh, wow. Here is our finished fire starter with our wax and our tinder in it. So, campers, you ready to make your own fire starters?
Yeah.
Awesome. And we're finished. So we ended up using all the wax that we had and the sticks that we had brought in. We were planning to do a couple campfires up in our family camp. Wow, I really can't talk today. Our family fire circle that we have.
Or fire pit.
Our fire pit, correct. So again, you don't want to transport these anywhere because of the restrictions with wood, because they are firewood. Even though itsy bitsy, it's still firewood. So the next thing that we want to go ahead and do is put our fire starters in a container, because we want to watch the humidity. If the humidity is the amount of moisture in the air, and if it's very humid, then they won't burn. So we want to put them in an airtight container. And when we store these, we don't want to store them where they're too hot or too cold, which is how we forgot our fire starters. We don't leave them in our camper because it gets really hot in there because we leave it unplugged.
Yeah.
So everything gets hot. So we take things that will melt out, which were our fire starters. And when we went camping, we forgot them. So we made some, and we're showing you how to make your own fire starters with what you have. Now, don't forget to clean up your mess. And remember to get your caregiver's permission before you do any of this. And have fun and be safe with your campfire.
And don't forget to cover your tablecloth. Or table.
Yeah, way back. We'll make sure there was, you probably saw the note because we forgot to cover our table. So, with that being said, we'll see you later. Bye.